Alright guys, trying out some different camera stuff here. This might look a little better, might look a little worse. I can't see because I got my camera set up like to face me, so we'll see now. But mask back again. Hope you guys are doing well. I appreciate the well wishes and comments on comment on my last video. I appreciate the few of you guys who just jump in and leave a positive word here and there. I really appreciate that. It helps. So I don't check the comments every day, and I'll check it when I think about it, and it'll so happen that right when I need to hear it the most, that's when y'all will pop up and say something. So I appreciate it a lot. You know, my inner child, I'm realizing, is my greatest enemy. My inner child is the reason behind all of my struggles. I don't know, maybe I do know why, because due to my childhood where I felt like I didn't get a whole bunch of special treatment and I got to sit back and watch other people get special treatment. No, what happened was I was born at a time, I was born as the middle child. My mom had a break. So she had my oldest brother, oldest sister, older sister, older brother before me, and then I was the fifth. But there was a gap in between my older sister and me, like a 6-year gap. And then there was like a long gap between me and my younger siblings. So for a while, I got to be treated as almost the baby. Because my other siblings were out the house already, and my mom hadn't had my younger brothers yet. So I was the baby for a while, and I got that treatment from what my brothers and stuff tell me. They tell me I was the spoiled brat of the house, you know, causing all the trouble in the house. And I think, and then once my younger brothers were born, they became the babies, and I became, you know, the middle child effect kicks in. You go from being the favorite to the one that gets punched on by both sides. Sometimes literally. So, I think what happened is my inner child has never let that shock go. The shock of moving from being the baby and the one that everybody focuses all their positive attention on, and I'm gonna protect you, and don't say nothing to my little brother, and my mom is all in the house like, don't say nothing to my baby, and, you know, protecting me and giving me that love that, you know, from my perspective, I feel like got transferred to my younger brother. I know my mom still loved me, and, you know, it's just once they were kids in the house younger than me, I guess it's maybe just a psychological thing where they are the ones that get their way now. Anytime they cry, whoever is the closest to them is getting in trouble, because either what did you do or why didn't you help them stop crying? You know, it's no winning. You know, and there were some parenting issues, but, you know, nobody's perfect, so I won't even get into that in this video. But I think what happened to my inner child, like I said, is I don't think that it ever recovered from that shock of moving from the favorite to the favorite to the middle child. And I almost feel like that has been extrapolated across my entire life now, to the point where I am just this spoiled baby in my mind. And I've been working on myself, guys. Like, I got stuff here, you know. I got journals, you know. I got the camera set up perfect, so I'm not gonna, you know, get my, you know, I can't show my aspirations and stuff I got on my bulletin board here, but I got work. I've done work, you know, CBT and reforming, you know, toxic thoughts. But I also got to be, you know, honest about myself. My inner child is this spoiled baby, and he just won't grow up. And it drives me insane. It ruins my life. Today at work, I feel annoyed even saying this because it's nothing. But I have to be honest, because this happens quite a bit. Today at work, I'm there, and I had a coworker. She's just at the risk of her seeing this. I almost don't want to say what is on my mind. Let's just say that she's cool. And she promised me, not promised, she didn't make no promise. It was kind of a passing joke, actually. But she basically said, like, you know, she can make cheesecake, she wants to make cheesecake. And my favorite dessert is cheesecake. So I've been making jokes over the past couple weeks when I see her. Like, every time I see her, I'm going to mess with her about this cheesecake since she mentions it. And today, she was basically telling me, like, oh, you know, if you want me to make the cheesecake, at least be nice to me and say stuff to flatter me or something. And I was like, okay. And then I came back and, you know, it was jokingly just like, you know, you're the best at this and you're the best at that. And then she was just like, I'm going to make the cheesecake when I feel like it and blah, blah. And I knew she was joking. I 100% knew that. But for some reason, that bothered me. Because somebody else was right there, and just the way she said it, it kind of made it seem like, oh, you know, I'm messing with her all the time about this cheesecake. I'm chasing her around. That's how it came off to me. Now, I know that anybody that's around probably saw that, and it, you know, it probably didn't last in their memory at all. They probably don't even know, you know, whatever, a little moment at work, and then they keep it going so we can go home. But that bothered me a lot. And I wanted to, like, go talk to her. Like, who do you think you're talking, you know? How dare you be so mean to me and take it back, you know? Like, these are the, well, those aren't the thoughts that are coming across my mind. Which makes it even worse. The real thoughts that are coming across my mind are vastly out, you know, vastly overreacting. That would be me vastly overreacting to just what my inner child, I think, perceives as a rejection. For some reason, my inner child looked at a situation like that as, wow, so she won't make the cheesecake because she doesn't care about you. And if she did care about you and thought you were cool, thought you were attractive, thought you were this, thought you were that, you know, if you were such and such over there that she talks to sometimes, she probably would have made the cheesecake on the spot. She probably would have brought it to work the next day, blah, blah, blah. You know, people just don't care about you. She doesn't find you. You're this, you're that. You know, negative self-talk. And, you know, on the front end, I'll catch that. Use my cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. Catch it. Let the first thought work its way out. Just let it go. And then when the energy behind that thought runs out, just reform it into what it actually is. But for some reason, it's like sticking, and I feel so hurt. And mind you, I still feel this way after, literally like 5 minutes later, she comes back and is like talking to me about how I spent New Year's and asking me about, you know, tea. She likes tea, I like tea. Asked me about tea that she gave me, and just talking to me like a normal, you know. But for some reason, I feel really upset about this. And this isn't the only thing. Like, somebody who I usually talk to at work every day, I didn't get to talk to them today. And I feel some that way about that. Because it's like, okay, well, what happened, you know? Like, and this isn't a girl. This is like one of my, we're friends, I don't know. One of the people at the job, they, we're cool. One of the older guys, he just didn't talk to me all day. And it's like, you know, I don't have a lot of people in there who I feel like I can connect to, and we have shared interests and stuff. You know, it's not just all about the ladies. You know, having friends would be cool too. Because mind you, that's still a plight of mine, finding securing, you know, real friends and stuff. So we didn't talk all day. He didn't talk to me. I don't know what happened there. I know we have. I can't. I don't. At the risk of people seeing this one day, I don't know if I should say that. Let's just say we have shared interests in certain women. Um, but anyway, yeah, stuff like that. And once again, my brain, my inner child wants me to think, see, he doesn't, it never lasts, does it? He that was just a short term thing, and he's probably over you. You're probably, you annoyed him. You did something that probably annoyed him, or maybe the girl said something to him about you, and now he's kind of like taking an adversarial standpoint, taking an adversarial stance to you. I don't know. It's just, it's torture, man. Just the stuff you deal with as a kid, it really sets up your life, man. I don't care. Like, your formative years, that is such an understatement. Just that term, formative years, is vastly underutilized in when it comes to child rearing, I guess. Because for the love of God, I don't know if I'll ever be able to fully shake this off. Just these feelings of, how dare you not talk to me? How dare you not be with me? How dare you not... I still think about exes I haven't talked to in almost a year, and I'm just thinking, like, how dare you not contact me again? How dare you actually move on with your life? What's going on? Even though, I messed up and I did stuff that really hurt them and blah, blah, blah. I'm still sitting there thinking sometimes in my back of my mind, like, she has to be back. Because what? How dare she? She can't do that. She can't leave me here. And really be upset. Like, really upset. Genuinely very upset about it. And feeling like, wow, the unmitigated gall of you to just leave me, actually. It's insane. I feel just so tortured by this. And it's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. But I feel like it needs to be said because a lot of people, they don't realize when, they don't realize, like, when they're embarking on these self-improvement journeys, how difficult it actually is and how long it can actually take to see results and not deal with the stuff you deal with when it comes to it. Just, wanting to improve your mind and your mannerisms and your, how you carry yourself, that part of self-improvement. It's not easy, man. I've been really working at it for years now, dude. And I always say, I made like 3 to 5% improvements. I still got so long to go, and my inner child is going to be the biggest thing to conquer, where I can just get into these, and hopefully I can just get into these situations, recognize it for what it is, assess it honestly, and be like, okay, come to terms with whatever it is, assess it and what it may mean, objectively, right there, honestly, emotionlessly, and then just proceed from there. How did she say it? Did she say it really rude, or was she saying it with like a smirk and a smile on her face? She said it with a smirk and a smile on her face? Probably a joke. We move. Because there's people in there who I work around who just have this supreme confidence in the sense of, I think that if somebody's in the same situation like that, some of these people I work with, it would be the complete flip side. Like, they would think, even if somebody was actually like being condescending to them or mean to them or saying, being rude to them or whatever I thought, rejecting, blah, 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 they would have to be like convinced like that something negative happened there. In their mind, they'll be like, oh, it had to be a joke because that's pretty rude to say, and nobody would say that to me because I'm so cool. And even if somebody did say that to me, screw them, because they clearly don't know me and how cool I am. So what's wrong with them? Shame on them. And I'm gonna go continue being cool, because they couldn't have been being rude or rejecting me. Like, what? Why would they? They wouldn't reject me. There's people in there who move like that, and that is such a confident place to be. And I really wish I can get there. And people see it. People see straight through me. It's like, and it's embarrassing, man. Like, I'm 27, and I think a lot of the reason why I feel like I haven't aged out, like past like 17, 18, 19, besides the way I look, I'm just now starting to get the tiniest beard hair. But outside of that, I don't think it's about beard. I don't think it's about facial hair. It's just, I think my inner child is just so much of me. It's so much of me. It's so much of me. To the point where if, say I'm, because I know how a man is supposed to act or whatever, around women, at work, with people in a job situation, I know how I'm supposed to, take the lead, do this, stoic, I know how I'm supposed to be, it's all, subjective. But I know, what the general idea of a man is and what people would expect of me on first meet. And I can, exude that. I can show that. I could be that. But it always feels like a performance. It's not naturally me. Naturally, I act the same way. And I feel the same feelings. And I react the same way mentally and physically a lot as when I was in high school. I don't know why. Like, I feel like if I woke up tomorrow and it was 2016, 2015 again, and I just had to come to terms with the fact that, hey, you went back and passed. Time to go back to school. Sorry, you got to go back to high school. And it's really that. I don't think I'd stick out. Like, I don't think people would be in there like, oh, you're acting weird, or why are you being so uppity? Why are you being so uptight? Nah. I would fit right back in. Right to the swing of things. I don't feel like I've aged out of high school mentally. But all the stuff I've been through, getting my own vehicles, getting jobs, working 2 jobs, losing people, getting in relationships, pregnancy scares, health issues, bills, commerce, I don't know. And nothing is aging me. And in some ways, that's a positive thing. But in some ways, it's negative because my emotions they just won't, the first mind, my first thoughts when I'm going through something are just so immature. And sometimes you can't, how sometimes you can't control how you act, you just act on your first impulse or whatever. It's always some, like, I know that was, I'm sorry. But, I mean, that's the best, I know that's probably funny, but it's always some, like some little thing. It's like, what the hell? That's the confusing part. Like, why? How hasn't all this stuff that I've been through in life just naturally made me tone that stuff down? It's just not me. And as I get older, I realize that might be one of the things holding me back in different areas. Maybe that's why I didn't get promoted to manager that one time. And everybody that worked there that was vastly younger than me, that didn't know the job as well as me, that didn't do it as well as me, that customers weren't asking about and coming there visiting for and leaving reviews about, oh, he made our experience so interesting, and it's usually a boring dining experience, and he's so personable and he has a lively spirit and all this stuff, reviews out reviews. Never get promoted to being a manager. They got 16-year-olds managing me at some of these. Well, had 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds managing me at some of these jobs. I'm working at this job a year and a half. I know every station. They talked to me about being a manager, kind of threw it around because, that's kind of just the natural progression of things. You learn everything, and as the new kids come in, you become a trainer. I get that. I got that. Train a couple people. I get that. I got that. And then you become a manager. And it got to that point where it was like, okay, we're starting to promote people. Everybody else quit. We don't really have nobody else to promote except you. Okay, cool. Start learning the manager, this and that. Okay, cool. I'm starting to learn it. This girl gets hired. She's like 17. She has like a tiny bit of managerial experience. She gets promoted immediately upon getting hired. Never mind the fact that this girl, if a customer even has the tiniest issue, this girl needs to go cry in the bathroom for 20 minutes. So, manager, let's not talk about that. But Devontae can't be a manager even though he knows everything and he's the one that has to step up and fix the problem. But and then it just keep happening at every job. People younger than me getting promoted. My managers right now one of them is the same age as me, and he's like the second or third in command in the whole building. Same age. I think I'm a little bit older than him. He's like the second or third in command. My direct manager for the part of the building that I work in is 2 years younger than me. And so on and so forth. And I think as I get older, it's starting to become like not it. Like, it's just starting to not look good on me being this jolly, emotional, reactive, animated dude. And it's so hard to stop being that. Like, I don't think I've aged past like 17. And it's not for lack of trying. I'm doing everything that would age a person, that would make a person become zen, stoic, blah, 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 all that. Where they just become very serene and, just the man archetype. Where stuff happens and I'm still super shaky and anxious and nervous and shy and meek and mind you, the stuff that they say builds confidence and confidence leads to you having that like firm spirit. I've performed my artist stuff. I've performed. I've stepped up to the plate and impressed myself at these jobs with the things that I could do. Just as far as just running emergency situations where manager can't come in. Devontae does it. Devontae gets a smack. I didn't give my real name away. I don't care. But Devontae gets a pat on the back from the corporate people for holding down the store when the manager couldn't come in. They didn't even know that I knew how to put the registers away and do this, that, and third. But I did it. And I did it faster than the manager. Like, this is really ruining my life. Just at this age. Because I'm starting to be surrounded by people who are younger than me and just treat me like I'm a kid. And I don't blame them. I've become very self-aware. That's one of the, like I say, I've progressed maybe 3% in my journey of life. That's one of the 3%. I've become less defensive and more like self-aware. Like, you know what? I see what people are talking about. I get it. But just recognizing it don't necessarily solve it. I don't know what it is, man. I'm just this kid to everybody. I'm going to be like 30 soon. I'm going to be 28 this year. It's people who I meet, who I've interacted with quite a few times, who I tell them I'm 27, they're like, what? I thought you were 17. That used to be kind of, in a weird way, kind of flattering, because I'm like, oh, that means I'm like lively, that means I'm like not worn down, I still got my spark. Nah, I mean, yeah, to an extent, it is something about it that's good. But there's a part of this that is a little embarrassing too, because I'm starting to realize like, it's not 100% from what my goals are. It's not 100% good that people always think I'm 17. It's not great, and I don't know how to stop it without feeling like I'm acting. I'm keeping myself, my real self, in this snow globe prison, begging to get out and really act like my normal self. Like, it really makes me wonder how many dudes out here who have that dark triad, just aloof, don't care about nothing, nothing penetrates their force field. You never know what they're thinking. They just straight up eye contact, hardcore, hunter eyes, machismo energy. It makes me wonder how many of these dudes who do that inside have that kid in them, and they just, society has punished them enough for being a grown man and doing certain stuff and reacting a certain way, to the point where they now got really good at acting. And once you start getting positive reinforcement from it, you keep it up longer. Because as I get older, that's starting to be the only dudes that's getting the girls. That's starting to be the only dudes that's getting promoted and going places. Like, I've been told I'm really entertaining. Like, I'm really interesting. I'm really like, once people get to know me, they always talk about how, like, I'm so, like, lively, and people always love to hear about my life and hear me tell stories, because there's always just, like, I tell stories like a comic book reads. That's the way I talk when I'm telling stories about my life. And it's like, as I'm getting older, people, I mean, that's good stuff, but for the things that I want out of life, it's getting really hard to, like, get them and maintain them and keep them with me being my natural self. And this is me naturally. Like, I'm just not this stoic dude. I'm very reactive. Sometimes, and I know sometimes me being a little bit performative to try to get a laugh out of people. Sometimes it is. And I've really been trying to dial back on that, but it always slips through. Like, somebody will come into the job, walk up next to me, and I'll be like, my first thought when I see them in my peripheral vision is, act like they scared you so you can get, like, a little jump out of them, and it'll be like a little funny moment. Why do I need to do that? And I've done it multiple times with the same people, and they're starting to say something about it. It's my first reaction. That's a great example. That is my first reaction in a moment like that, and I've done it multiple times to the same people, and they're starting to look at me weird for doing that. And it's like, why? In the times where I didn't do it, I had to consciously not do it. It's like, why? This is it's like, why? Why? I know why. It's because long time ago, I found that being that animated person really got me a lot of good, I know what it is. Being that animated person got me the type of attention that I craved from my mom when I was a kid once I lost it. When I was in high school, I was very popular. I'll say very popular. I was pretty popular, I'm not gonna lie. In high school, due to me just being this character. I was just this character. And I will say it was naturally me at that time. It's just I've never stopped being that. And my first instinct is to be like that, especially around people I don't know that well, to hurry up and get them to treat me like how those people in high school treated me when I did that stuff. People thought I was so cool. People would walk up with cameras on me like, hey, do something, say something. Like, Maybe they were laughing at me and not laughing with me, but hey, I got some girls out of it, so that's all I care about. But anyway, no, I'm joking. Well, I actually did, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, yeah, like that's a perfect example of why do I need to do that? Like, but like I said, if I'm not doing something like that, oh my God, you scared me, or trying to make, when I'm having a conversation with somebody about something, feeling this need to like, there has to be some funny moment in this conversation. Like if I'm just talking to somebody, how was your day? How was your this? Oh, it's hot outside. It was cool. How about you? I gotta be like, it was hot, but it was kind of cold. So, I don't know. Like little stuff like that. Like what? And then I'll walk away like, what? But maybe in that conversation, depending on who I say that to, they'll be like, how was it hot or cold? And there'll be like a little funny moment. But even then, I'll still walk away and be like, what? Why? What are you talking about? It's hot outside. It's not cold at all. It's hot. And sometimes people will call me on it and be like, what do you mean it's hot and cold? It's like 90 degrees. And I'll be like, oh, 90 degrees getting pretty cold this time of year. Huh? What? Like, I'm sorry for wigging out like this much on camera, but this stuff drives me insane. And while I can laugh about it, it is funny. It does make me hate myself sometimes. And not just like, oh, I hate myself, I'm so stupid. No, it makes me... It accompanies me when I go to my dark places. It adds on to the pile. Because these things happen to me. It almost feels like I'm afflicted with it. Because if I don't catch myself, that's what I'm going to do. And when I'm not doing that, if I have a normal conversation with somebody and I'm just like, yeah, for New Year's, I just chilled. I went home. It was just a chill night. I was really just, bringing the year chill. Because I feel like if I bring in the year chill, that means the whole year is going to be chill and I can use a chill year. Saying something simple like that. I said something simple. Well, not exactly that, but I said something simple like that to the girl who kind of made me feel some type of way. When we talked again after the transgression, had a little conversation right there. I was asking her, like, how about you? And she was like going down the road. It was a normal conversation. And, I realized she kind of let this guarded little tension thing down. And I think a lot of people have because they expect me to do something wild or say something stupid or humorous in the middle of a conversation. She kind of like relaxed and was like, oh yeah, well, I got home at this time, I did this, it was cool. And the only reason we stopped talking is because somebody like, not interrupted us, but like came and joined the conversation and took it somewhere else, and we both were kind of like, cool. So it was cool. And I walk away from those situations like, yes, but at the same time, that wasn't natural. Me having that normal conversation with her was not natural. I could feel it. I could feel that thing inside of my mind saying, hit her, not hit her, but hit her with something crazy. Say something stupid. Say something. Say something about the color of her hat. Say the fireworks. Come up with a lie and tell a weird story about how you almost got hit with somebody's fireworks or something. Say something crazy. I could feel it. It's like the Green Goblin. It's like, say something crazy and she'll think you're cool. I hate it. I hate it. I hate that part about myself. It sucks. I hate how it feels when people have very normal reactions to something I do. I hate that it does certain stuff that causes me to have those reactions. I hate that it's holding me back from being perceived as my real age. I don't necessarily want to lose it all, a sense of humor and all that good stuff. I just know that I know what it's doing. I can see the effects of it on my life as I get older. I know what it's doing. I know what it's costing me. And there's pros and cons to everything. There's pros and cons. This stuff helps me a lot when I'm performing. When I'm up there performing and I'm just saying little stupid stuff and saying little funny stuff in my, and while I'm performing my music, there'll be like a break in the sets or there'll be interludes where I literally rehearse little stupid little things to say that always gets people. People love it. People love it in that format, under those conditions, people love that type of stuff. People love that. You're so funny. What made you think of that? And I'll be like, I don't know. It's just me. Under those circumstances, it's great. But I just feel like I can't turn it off. So on one hand, it's a pro because that's authentically me when I'm up there performing. But at the same time, when I'm at work, I still feel the need to keep that up. And when I'm talking to girls, when I'm hanging out with girls, when I'm going on dates and stuff, it's a fight. It's a battle to not be like that. But I know where it's going to get me if I act like that. Because the girls I'm meeting now, you know, I ain't been on a date in like about a month or some change now. 2 months. But still, like, the girls I'm meeting now, like, when I'm talking to them, I can sense it. I can sense how they see me. And one thing I will say before I wrap this up, sorry. One thing I will say is my ex, as much as this hurt to hear coming from her, and she, you know, our last little fling, I guess you want to call it that, she kept it so real with me because one of the biggest blows to our relationship, just our relationship as people, titles aside, one of the biggest blows to our relationship was when she just was keeping me in the dark about some stuff she was doing in the hopes that I never found out and we could just, like, you know, act like it didn't happen. So this last fling that we had, she basically was like almost oversharing to the point of like, hey, I want you to know everything so that, you know, we don't repeat what happened before. So if I asked her a question about something, she would just be like, are you sure? And then she would just go for it. Just give me the answer straight up, even if it wasn't a good answer. And I appreciate her for that. But she did say some stuff I didn't want to hear, but I needed to hear, and it sucked. There was this guy that she got with. I don't know if they might be together now, but there was this guy she got with after me. And he's, you know, Hispanic. He's a taller dude. Kind of bigger dude. He's not what I envisioned him to be based on how she talked about him. When, you know, we were going through a moment and she was like, oh, I found somebody, and I started asking questions that I shouldn't have asked. But at that point, you're emotional. I just want to know what's going on. I want to know if I measure up. So I'm asking questions that I shouldn't be asking. And she's telling me, and I'm like, and then when I finally see him through some weird twist of fate that happened, crazy situation, was coming to rescue her. It was a whole thing. Somebody tried to break it. It was a whole thing. He came as well after me as I was leaving, and he did not look like what I thought he did. Let's just say that. And so fast forward to, you know, basically 2 years later, I think. Fast forward, it gets to the point where, you know, I'm asking her these questions. We were playing We're Not Really Strangers, that game. And it got to the deeper questions. And I was asking her basically I saw a picture in her phone of her dressed up really feminine. She never did that with me. She always would like dress a little bit more, just, you know, Vans, jeans, hoodie. She never really got pretty. She never, you know, wore no makeup. She never, you know, got girly. She would wear, you know, girly clothes, normal stuff, but it was always like girly casual. And I saw like some picture on her phone while we were playing this game of her like super dolled up, dress, no glasses, mascara, all this. She looked, I almost want to cry talking about it. She looked gorgeous, like wedding ready. I've never seen this woman like this. And I asked her, kind of as my question, me seeing that kind of off the corner of my eye changed the question I was about to ask. And I asked her, like, dang, like, you know, I see, like, you get dressed up like that now, you do this, that, and the third. And she was like, oh, huh, you're right, I do it with him, the other guy. I do it because I don't know what they are now, but they were just friends. They tried a relationship, didn't work out, so they were just friends. But she still went out with him and got dolled up like that, she said. And I was like, never did that, for me, whatever. Even when I got dressed up, she still felt the need to just, at most, dress like I do. Pants, maybe a shirt, maybe a hoodie, and she do her hair up in a little bun or something. It's always functional. It's always stylish but functional. And I was like, why'd you never get like dressed up like that for me? And she thought for a second, and it was one of those questions like, you know what? Do you really want to know? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. She was like, because of how you act, you never gave me the vibes that I could be fully feminine around you, because I didn't feel safe. I felt like there's a chance that something might go down. I'm kind of paraphrasing, but I think this is verbatim, but I'm kind of paraphrasing. This is almost a year ago now. No, it's over a year now. Jesus Christ, time flies. But she basically was saying like, I felt like there's a chance that something might go down and you're not going to be able to get us out of it because of how you are. You're going to emotionally break down or be joking around and playing around, and I'm going to have to get active and save us. So even if we're going out to eat, I can't be fully dolled up, walking in heels with mascara, no glasses on. You got to lead me around. I can't see that well. She's thinking like that. She's like, you never gave me really masculine vibes, so it made me not feel safe to give full feminine vibes. And this guy makes me feel safe. I feel like when I'm around him, no matter what happens, he got me. Even as a friend, no matter what happens, he got me. So that's why he don't even ask me to get dressed up like this. I just do. And mind you, she's like thinking about this as she's talking about it. She didn't think about it until I brought it up. It took her a minute. There was pauses and all this stuff like, yeah, this and that. Googling stuff. Oh, that's why. And so I'm getting in pieces, but I got the gist. And she's right. She's right. She's so right. Now, some of this stuff will be justified how I would act, because I would try to be the level-headed one. She wants to be a hothead for something that's not a big deal. Oh, the order came out wrong. They're remaking it. There's no point to be upset anymore. There's no point to, yell or be passive-aggressive to the waiter. They already remade the food. She wouldn't like me saying stuff like that. That's just an example. But there were times where, so she would be in an argument with the neighbors, and I don't come out, not rude, but I don't come out like, hold up, what's going on? Getting in between, making sure my presence is felt, just making sure I'm there, good or bad, whether I agree with her or disagree with her, with what's going on, just making sure I'm seen, I'm there, I'm felt, I'm this person. Can you explain to me what happened? Like, I didn't do that. I didn't do stuff like that. I would come outside if she's in an argument with the neighbors over something that happened about a dog. This really happened. I think our dog and the neighbor's dog got into it or something, and she was basically yelling at the neighbor, basically saying the dog attacked our dog. I didn't even want to really be seen by the neighbors. Like, I was kind of like cowering a little bit, because I'm just like, I don't know, they could shoot. Like, I don't know. And granted, my mind was in the right place, because they could. Disputes. People, bad stuff happens and people lose their lives for less. But, come on. Come on. There's a middle ground to be struck there, at least, as far as being a man and being safe. There's a middle ground. Stuff like that. So that's how I couldn't even argue with that. I think after she answered that question the way she did, I kind of was just like, fair. And not much has changed, unfortunately. I was willing to change for her, but it definitely would have been me acting. Just like it is today. I'm a 16, 17-year-old in a 27-year-old's body. And I don't know how to fix it. So, if you guys have dealt with this issue where your inner child is just way too in control over your mannerisms and how you are, let me know, please, some tips. Let me know if I'm just tripping and I should just hold on to my how I am, and hopefully somebody will like it. If that's your advice, I'd be down to hear that too. Whatever. don't know. This is one of the emotions where I'm just kind of like, I don't really want to feel alone on it because it is so impactful. So just somebody being like, I hear you, bro, would just be really nice. You don't have to, though. I'm just saying. But regardless, watching is enough. Thank y'all so much for being an outlet for me. I'll talk to y'all on the next one, I suppose. Thank y'all. Mass out. Oh, sorry, I gotta fix this camera. So different.